by the ministry, I strongly believe that it has its ownership has to be with the society. Those people, those who know it, those who understand it, those who practice it, because then it will become meaningful. The government, instruments of government is not capable of actually fulfilling the objective of the project. Now the very name, we call it IKS. I am sure there are many people sitting here who also may feel as uncomfortable as I am. Why do we call it Indian knowledge system? Why don't we call it Bharatiya Jnana Paddhati? Because of Bharatiya Jnana system. Because Bharatiyaism, the word Bharat and Bharatiyaism is intelligible in every language, every Bharatiya language. Because when we say Bharatiya knowledge system, it has a different meaning. When we say Indian knowledge system, what is Indian knowledge system and how is it different from European knowledge system? Bharatiya knowledge system, Bharatiya Jnana Paddhati and Parampara. When we say Bharatiya, because this, we try to understand what is Bharatiya, what is Bharat. Bharat cannot be understood through India. It Bharatiya Jnana Paddhati or Parampara requires a drishti, a particular way of looking at things, drishti. Because Bharat itself is an evolution of that drishti. Many people, they ask a question, what is the difference between Bharat and India? There is a world of difference. As far as the label is concerned, it's one and the same. You are stamping India, you stamp Bharat the same. But the meaning of the two are entirely different. Bharat cannot be understood through understanding India. India is a political state. And political state, as we know under the European definition or the modern definition, is there is land, defined territory. There are people living on that land, on the territory. There is a government that administers that territory and the people, and that government is sovereign. These four attributes are needed for a state, modern state. Bharat, does it fit into it? Yes, today if you call it India, then it fits. But if you go prior, Bharat has been there for several thousand years. Bharat has been there for several thousand years. At no point of time there was one ruler who ruled the whole Bharat. There was no one government on the whole Bharat. And yet Bharat was one. This Bharat, with people of different languages, speaking different languages, having different eating habits, wearing different costumes, dress, inhabiting different parts of it, yet they remain as one faith. At the society level, at the people-to-people level, a person from Kashmir had no problem in coming to Radheshwaram or Kanchipuram or Dwarka or Badri or Puri, Ujjaini, Kashi, numerous, hundreds of people. These hundreds of tirthas, each tirth was located in an area of a different king. Each tirth was located in a different kingdom. And yet, each of these tirths belonged to the whole Bharat. Any Bharatiya from any part of Bharat had a right to go, visit, and do the worship and puja of tirtha. In fact, it was mandated that in a lifetime, every Bharatiya must do certain tirtha. So, all these different kings, different kingdoms, and yet it was one. How? So, unless we understand Bharat, it will be difficult to understand even the Bharatiya Gyan Paddhati or knowledge system. Because you need that drishti. The drishti that developed during the Vedic period. Our rishis of the Vedas, when they talked about, when they revealed the knowledge, the entire creation is one family. Every element of creation, whether humans, plants, animals, even rocks and rivers, every element has the presence of the same divine. These are various manifestations of the same divine, so we are all members of the same family. Everyone is related with everyone else. Everyone is related with everyone else organically. Not theoretically, organic. Now, this darshan, I won't call it philosophy because philosophy has a limitation. Philosophy is guided by reason, logic. In our Gyan Paddhati, reason is not sovereign. Reason is important, buddhi is important. But it is not sovereign, it is not final. There are things beyond buddhi. That is why even our Shastra says, Naisa Karkena Mandiramaya. You can't get the truth by logic and argument. So it requires a different drishti. The drishti that has given rise to this. And I would urge all those who are dealing with this forward ideas, please call it BPS, Bharatiya Knowledge System. Because that will be the right description of it, not ideas. Now, we have a big challenge because we are living in an interconnected world. For long we have been colonized, our mind has been trained largely to think in the Western European model of thinking, European knowledge system. And in this world, such interconnected world, with so much of dominance of the European knowledge system, when we are trying to rejuvenate our Bharatiya knowledge system, we need to be very strong in our foundation. We have people who are observing the parampara. They have been keeping the parampara for thousands and thousands of years, and we must be highly grateful to them for keeping it. But that's not enough. Parampara gives a drishti. Students are studying in Gurukula. They don't just learn by logic, they also learn by observing the Guru, by observing certain disciplines, and then which is inculcated in sanskara. Through sanskara they acquire the knowledge. It is not true just reading. In the European system of knowledge, in the Western system of knowledge, which is transactional, teacher is paid and so he passes on some information or some so-called knowledge. It is a transaction. In Bharatiya Gyan Paddhati, it is not. Knowledge is never ever transaction. We have to have a solid foundation. And we have to create the glossary of words which are very essential, about an equivalent to which there is no other word in any language in the world. And certainly not in any European language, it's not in English. You have equivalent in some of the Bharatiya language, but not in any foreign language. For example, what is Rashtra? We say Bharat is not a political state. It is more than that. What is Rashtra? Rashtra has to be defined. Rashtra is not a political state only. Political state is only a small part of it. Unless we understand Bharat, Rashtra, what is Rashtra? We will not be able to argue and convince and tell the other convincingly. Because they have to understand. We can't blame them also. Because they have a certain way of, they have been groomed and trained in a particular way of learning. So when we are going to tell them it has to be intelligible, it has to be something is there able to understand. So we have to define this term, Rashtra. What is Rashtra? What is Drishti? What is Darshan? Darshan is not philosophy. Because even when we say Western knowledge is essentially physical, bhautik gyan. Bhautik gyan is acquired through Gyanendriya. We have 5 Gyanendriya. Sight, sound, smell, sensation and taste. Based on. In Bharat, we have something called Shukshma. Shukshma. These are, sensibilities, supra-sensibilities. What Rishyamento calls it, supra-sensibilities. It is there in our system. We have to cut out those words, create the glossary of those words, explain those words as best as we can. Because in our Gyan Paddhati, as I said, knowledge is not just acquired through reason, through logic, but through anubhuti. There are things which are experienced, anubhuti. How do you explain it? You have to have it appropriate terms, language, definition. We need to create the glossary of words which are fundamental. We talk about Bharatiya paradigm. What is Bharatiya paradigm? The core is Drishti. And what is Drishti? If we have to understand all these, we have to define it very, very clearly. In a contemporary language, Yug Ankur Bhasha, today people should be able to understand. And once, because Bharatiya Drishti, the system of knowledge is called, in European, in English, it is called Epistemology. In the Western or European epistemology, it understands something by breaking it into pieces. You give something, it will try to break it into pieces and try to understand each piece. Like our modern medicine, human body is understood as what? Somebody is understanding teeth, only knows teeth. Somebody's eyes, only knows eyes. Somebody knows bones, only bones. It is true that our body is a combination of all these, but it is much more than that. Holistic. Our epistemology is holistically. We don't break it into parts. Breaking into parts is also has its own merit. It is not that it is without merit. But if you break into parts without understanding, keeping in mind the whole, you will lose direction. And it is this, looking at this drishti, to look at the thing in totality, that has answered to all the problems of the world today. Whether it is a problem of environment, because in our knowledge system, Bharatiya knowledge system, a plant is not separate, plant is a life giver. Not only that, at that level it is connected, the same Brahma is permeating that, but also that plant is life giver. Water is is life giver. Every element of creation is organically connected, interconnected with all. In the European knowledge system, a society is a product of a contract. They say individuals are sovereign. That is how fundamental right comes. And even in our constitution, we have fundamental right for the individual, but there is no fundamental right for the collective, for the society. Because again, it is rooted in European system. Our system, individual is not separate from society. It is society is not a product of a contract. Society and individual, Vyakti, Parivar and Samaj, they are integrally, organically, inseparably linked, and one cannot exist without the other. See, if one cannot exist without the other, there is no question of one being superior and sovereign. No. So in our, that is how Rashtra is there. Society, integrally connected, organically connected. There can be an administration system, there can be many administration systems. There can be many estates. Today we have 28 estates, we can have 40 estates. How does it matter? These are administrative arrangement for better governance. At the society level, Bharat as a Rashtra is looked at in totality. So, we have, in our knowledge system, we don't break things into parts and try to understand the whole by looking into parts. No. We look into parts, but by looking into parts, we look into the whole also. Even today, scientists started to look at, many of you who are studying science, students of science, you know that every atom is a micro solar system. There is something nucleus, there are electrons, protons revolving around it like a solar system. Micro is a small, meaning micro manifestation of the macro. Individual is a manifestation of the supreme divine. This is Drishti. So when we are developing the Bharatiya knowledge system, we must make ourselves capable to develop that Drishti, by which we should be able to explain and take forward the knowledge towards understanding the world. The world is facing lots of problems today. Existential problems, wars happening, poverty. Look at, in this world, there are some countries where food is wasted in surplus. But there are people, large number of people who are going hungry, without food. Is it sustainable? This is the product, this system is a product of European knowledge system. If you look at the Bharatiya knowledge system, we all look at Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, they are all part of the same thing. So, that is what we did in COVID. When COVID happened, what we did was our Bharatiya Drishti. That no, our scientists have found vaccines. When the developed countries, advanced countries found the vaccine, they started making money. Raise the prices. When our scientists got the vaccine, we shared the vaccine with the needy people in over 150 countries of the world. This is Bharatiya Drishti. So Bharatiya, for developing the Bharatiya knowledge system, we have to first stress and devise ways by which we strengthen Bharatiya Drishti. So Drishti, what is that? What is, and that Drishti, once we understand it, things becomes easier. I am sure there are scholars, there are knowledgeable people, and that is where I said it has to be, ownership has to come from outside the government. Because government, institutions of government doesn't have the capability that we can. They will work in a very mechanical way. They will work in a very, very mechanical way. They will file will move from here and there. So many conferences have been held, so many reports have been generated, files have been coming, but there is no knowledge. Now that is it. So that is why I urge that institutions like Vivekananda College and others, those who are in it, they should be able to take up the responsibility and create the fundamentals. First, strengthen the fundamentals of Bharatiya. There's no point talking about the we were great. We were great. We have talked it endlessly. There's no point. We must understand how they were great. What was the reason behind greatness? What was the knowledge system that made them great? I'm sure the project is on. We'll be able to achieve it. It's a very sacred project. And I can assure you one thing. This Bharatiya knowledge system, developing the Bharatiya knowledge system, rejuvenating this, is not only for Bharat. It is for the welfare of the whole world. The future of the world lies only Bharatiya knowledge system is developed, is rejuvenated. Because then and then alone, we can have a harmonious world. Then and then alone, we can have a peaceful and prosperous and happy world. Friends, I'm glad you gave me the opportunity. Thank you very much for it. I'm happy to be with you. I wish many more conferences, many more involvement, many more deliberations on this so that in coming years, we should be able to have a robust base for Bharatiya knowledge system, which not only helps us in understanding the knowledge of the past, but also makes us capable to look constructively into the future, a safer and a brighter future, not only for Bharat, but for the whole world. Thank you very much for the patient listening. Thank you, dear Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity validating your address. Now, I invite dynamic, simple, humble, and honest principal of Vivekananda College, Dr. P. Venkatesh, to propose the vote of thanks.
Vote of thanks.
இது கொடுப்பாங்க இதுன்னு
அது கிடையாது
என்ன இது
எதுவுமே கிடையாது vote of thanks
First of all, I submit my pranam.
இருக்கல
இந்த மாதிரி இல்லையே
Bharat Swami, the most respected Vice President of our Ramakrishna Thalaimurai, Swami Niyamananda, the most respected Secretary Swami of Vivekananda College, Swami Niyamananda, and the dignitaries on the dais and officers. So good evening. So as we conclude this event, it is my honor to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to everyone who contributed to making this conference on Indian knowledge system a grand success, Bharatiya knowledge system a grand success. So on behalf of everyone present, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, to Bharat Ravi, for gracing us with his presence today. So your valuable insights and commitment to our state inspire us all. We are truly honored to have you with us and to have your remarkable address. So we appreciate the time and efforts you took to join this event. So thank you once again for your support and encouragement. Thank you, sir. So I would like to express my sincere thanks to our Swamijis, Swami Niyamananda, Vice President of the Ramakrishna Thalaimurai, and Swami Vedananda, Secretary of Vivekananda College. A special thanks to our esteemed speakers in this conference. In the inaugural address by inaugural function, Dr. M. Selvam, the Vice Chancellor of the Bharat University. The presidential address given by Dr. M. Selvam. The keynote address given by Dr. Rajendra Kumar. And the presentations given by Dr. Ilango, our partner, Vice Principal, Dr. M. G. Shendaraman, the Vice President of the Holism, and our partner, Principal, Dr. R. Nirajan. The technical sessions chaired by our Vice Principal, Dr. Karthikeyan, and Dr. Bal Murugan. So I would like to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to our organizing secretary, Dr. S. Dinayalan, the president of PSM, and Dr. S. Venkatesh, the treasurer of PSM, for his tireless effort in planning and coordinating this event. Our sincere thanks to Dr. Srinivasa Raghavan and Dr. Bharat to be there for the part of this conference. So our heartfelt thanks to the government officials, police department officials, revenue department officials, health department officials, fire and rescue service department officials, Tamil Nadu electricity department officials, PWD officials, president of Reductionism, William Panjai, press and media persons.
Thank you, sir.
Our Vivekananda College teaching staff and non-teaching staff and students, our alumni. Once again, I thank you all participants for being here today in this national conference on worldview knowledge system. Your participation has made this event a remarkable success. Once again, I thank you one and all. Thank you.
Side please, sir.
Thank you, sir. May I now request all the dignitaries on the desk and also off the desk to rise from the national anthem, followed by Sunday Jana Jana Mana Gadinayaka Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Uttal Banga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uttal Jalati Saranga Tava Shubha Name Jare Tava Shubha Asisha Made Jare Tava Jaya Gata Jana Gana Mangala Nayaka Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukhabhat Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. மேடையில் உள்ள முக்கியஸ்தர்கள் கலைந்து சென்ற பின் மற்ற அனைவரும் கலைந்து சென்றலாம். அதுவரையில் அனைவரும் தங்களது இருக்கைகளை அமருமாறு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம். அனைவரும் தங்களது இருக்கைகளை அமருமாறு அன்புடன் கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம்.
Okay, sir. Bye. குறுக்க போயிறாங்க.
ஓம் சுபம் குருத்வம் கல்யாணம் ஆரோக்யம் தன சம்பதः மித்ரபுத்தி பிரகாஷாய தீபஜ்யோதிர்நமோஸ்துதே. சுபம் குருத்வம் கல்யாணம் ஆரோக்யம் தன சம்பதः மித்ரபுத்தி பிரகாஷாய தீபஜ்யோதிர்நமோஸ்துதே. for the sake of good health, wealth, abundance of grains, and also to achieve the merit of true friendship, I now salute the presiding deity of the land.
Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada
Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmaswarupine avatara varishtaya namaha.
Yata Neta Hi Ka Shakti Ramakrishne Sthita Hiya Sarva Vidyam Swarupamtam Sharadam Pranamamyaham.
Namah Shri Yati Raja.
Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji ki Jai Shri Mahamai ki Jai Shri Swamiji Maharaj Ji ki Jai Shri Saraswati Devi ki Jai Shiva Kadaksham Paripuranam Brahmaiva Satyam.
Dakshina Tamil Nadu and organizing secretary of this conference to welcome the gathering.
To all, revered Swamijis, Nemananda Swamiji, Vedanta Swamiji, Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Sri R. Raviji, former Principal Dr. R. Ravirajanji, National Convener, Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal, Dr. Rajendra Kumar Anayatji. My dear faculty members, Swayam Sevaks, DSM Karyakartas, faculty one and all present here. I deem it a great privilege to welcome all of you for this national conference on Indian knowledge system. Actually, this is organized by Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal. In our Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal was started in the year 1969. It is an offshoot of Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. The major objective of Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal is to address research, awareness,